I think making this video is actually going to be harder than making the beat. All right. Ugh. Hi, my name is Sikes. Today, I'm gonna make a beat using sounds only from an arcade in 1 minute or less. Actually, I'm lying, it's gonna take a few minutes. I'm currently at MagFest with a bunch of my friends, and for those of you who don't know what MagFest is, it's a music and gaming convention that happens annually here in National Harbor, Maryland. There's a free play 24-hour arcade that's down there. You gotta go through there. I'm gonna go down there and I'm gonna take the Zoom H6 with me, and I'm gonna record a bunch of sounds with this from the arcade room. And I'm gonna show you how to make a beat. I'm gonna show you MagFest. I'm gonna show you a bunch of old arcade machines. It's gonna be fucking sweet. So how about I drink this beer that I opened to look cool, and let's make some music. So yeah, we're at the arcade at MagFest. Let's go find some samples. Yeah. All right, voiceover time. Just wanted to step in to explain a few things that you're looking at and give you a clearer picture of what's going on. Again, I'm going to be recording all the audio from the arcade cabinets with the H6 portable recorder. The main idea is to basically find the speakers on all of these cabinets and hold the microphone up to the speakers and record the audio. Right now, all the audio that you're hearing is the audio not from the H6 but from the camera. This is a very, very noisy room. So highlighting the power of the H6, we're gonna cut to the audio from that right now. This is the same clip that you just saw, but with the audio from the H6 versus the camera. As you can tell, the audio is a lot cleaner and a lot crisper. You can barely tell anybody else is in the room, even though there's literally thousands of people around me. Pretty cool. Gonna get some good samples. Let's walk around and see what we can find. Going to show you another clip here of sampling some audio, this time on this awesome Super Nintendo arcade cabinet that had Super Mario World. I was actually playing the game with just my left hand and using my right hand to hold the H6 to capture the audio. The speakers were on the top of the cabinet and there was nowhere to set the recorder down. Got some good sounds from that, and again, as you can tell, I'm kind of swapping back and forth here between the camera audio and the H6 audio. Gonna move around and let's see what else we can find. Gotta give a shout out to Colt 45, who was operating the camera for some of the time, and for some of the games that required two hands, he would play while I just captured the audio and got the video. Right now, Colt's playing Bad Dudes, which means you got a lot of bad dudes punching each other, which makes for some great fucking sound effects. Another thing that was kind of wild about this whole process was that it was so loud in the room that sometimes you really just couldn't even hear what they were doing. So I would actually have to stick my ear up to the speakers to see what was going on and decide if it was even worth recording some of the sounds. It's doing like a cool works. One case in particular was this pinball machine that was making some great sounds that you would never fucking hear unless you just stuck your head up against the goddamn cabinet. Luckily, I did, and I got some really cool laser sounds. We were in the arcade room pretty much all night playing games. I was getting samples until seriously about 5:30 in the morning. And I was whooped. And then we had the rest of the weekend. So I didn't quite get around to editing this video for a little bit. I'm back from MagFest, and I finally got all of the samples and the video and everything that I recorded onto the computer. And what we're going to go through is go through all the audio files that I took on the H6, and we're going to extract some samples, get them named, organized, loaded into Machina, and we're going to make a beat. A lot of these recordings from the H6 are like 4 or 5 minute long recordings. And while you can pull any, I'll pull something random. We'll say this one. You could pull this into Machina and you get your whole file, and you can go in, you can edit, whatever you want. Like say this random peak right here. I have no idea what it is, but it's so got a cool laser sound. You can take it and you can play with it from there, like keyboard mode. You can do all kinds of shit with it. But the only problem is that there's all the rest of this stuff that's there that isn't being used. And granted, you can copy and paste this file, but it just becomes a mess. These files are named the same thing. They're both named at Zoom 0094, and I'm not a huge fan of doing that. So what I prefer to do is use Adobe Audition. See, have it edited there. And then you can take it, right-click, save selection as, change your settings. It doesn't need to be in stereo, so make it mono, okay. We'll name it Laser Sound 01, because I'm sure there's going to be plenty of laser sounds. Throw that in, and then there you go. So you can see now we have Laser Sound 1 ready to go. I already went through all of these and edited everything, but I'm just going to do another one like I just did now so you get an idea for sure of what exactly is happening here. Again, I typically look for the peaks, so I'll kind of go through, see what some things are. Okay, so that's kind of a cool noisy sound. A gun or something going on. I think that could be a pretty cool snare drum sound though. So get the selection that you want, right click, save as. We'll call it Noise Snare 01, something like that. Go back into Machina, pull your file in, and then there you go. Noise Snare 1. So I got those two sounds. From here you can adjust your play range for the start and the end. Get it exactly how you want it, and also adjust how long you want it to go. So say I just want it to be a short hit. I could do that, or this really isn't supposed to be a lesson in Machina, but just showing you different things you could do. And also, maybe I might not want that to go as long, especially if I want to use it for a noisy snare, so keep it short. Once you get your samples kind of edited how you want, the next thing that you could do actually inside of Machina is normalize the samples and bring up the volume a bit. I'm going to actually do that right now. It's already on the normalize feature. Just hit apply. See, it brought it up. Do that for this too, for the snare sound. So it just gives you some more volume, better room to play with. It's going to sound better with your drums. Speaking of which, let's get into all the files that I got for this so far. Going over to the screen here, like I said, I already went through. I pulled a shit ton of sounds. Kick drum, a whole variety of kick drums actually. So those are some basic drum sounds. Just gonna quickly go through everything. That's cool. It's a flicker on a pinball machine. These are all the punching sounds from Bad Dudes. You get the idea. This was this really cool game, and I can't remember the name of it right now. It was like a ball toss, but there was like this weird alien dude sitting on a board above like water, and he would heckle you while you were doing the ball toss, and if like you didn't get it in, just made fun of you and shit like that.
I suppose that was a warm-up.
This was pretty hysterical, and I got a lot of really, really good funny sounds from him. Stuff like,
"It'll never happen. Oops. Oops. Right? All right, all right. Don't panic now. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Don't panic now."
And all these samples were so great. It was pretty easy to tell this was going to be a really good foundation for the beat. the one thing that really stood out to me was this.
Give it up! Give it up!
So what I ended up doing, we'll go back into sampling mode here, is I edited 3 versions of this sound. So we could do
Give it up!
then
Give it!
and edit it just down to give.
Give!
So I could go
Give it up! Give it up! Give it! Give it! Give it up! Give it up! Give it up! Give it! Give it up!
and do like a cool loop out of that. That was the first thing I was thinking. Another sound that really stuck out to me was this one. Just has this like unnecessarily kind of like classic hip hop vibe to it. Just I don't know, that just sounds like the start of a beat to me. And then I also had, I was thinking those two could contrast really well and do like a with the
Give it up! Give it up! Give it! Give it! Give it up!
and the
Give it up! Give it up! Give it! Give it! Give it up! Give it up! Give it up! Give it! Give it up!
something along those lines. The other thing I want to do on the end of this is a pitch bend. So
Give!
and do like a
Give! Give it up! Give it up! Give it! Give it up! Give it up! Give it up! Give it!
So we got like a good starting loop in place, something that's going to be good to base some drums off of. So I'm going to go into these drum sounds. I already kind of have a couple picked out. Just a basic kick and snare, and we'll build from there. Going to have to make a new pattern here. Get that the right length that we want it. Cool. So I'm just going to kind of wing out some drums here. It's sounding so far so good. So we want to find something kind of hi-hatty. That might be cool actually. Let's see. Keep it going, get some more. I think if I cut this a little shorter, can make that a good sort of hi-hat sound for sure. So let's try this. Get the volume up on that. I'm liking where we're at so far with this, but we do want to get to a point where, you know, start introducing some other sounds, don't want it to get boring, but I'm really still like pretty partial to this. So what I'm thinking about doing is going into keyboard mode and I think, let's see, we're here. I think if we start introducing some shit like that with some other sounds, we can really go whoa. So from there, I kind of got these couple folders of synth stuff together. I guess we should probably just play. I don't know if you could see it on the screen down here. On here, it's picking up that it's at 77.1 BPM and we're working in 75. Cool thing with Machina, just it can detect that stuff automatically. Technology, woo! Apply, adjust it. See how that fits better. Getting through the basic structure here. One thing I want to try to find before I go off and kind of finish this without cameras rolling is like a good bass sound. I do see I have mentioned bass 1, 2, 3, 4, but those are those Mario sounds again. Let's see what happens. I'm not too sure. At this point, I think you've seen kind of the process of what's going on here. I'm going to dig really deep into this without all of the cameras and things on that I need to keep track of. And then whenever I have more of a beat structured, I'm going to come back and we'll go from there. Okay. Since the last time I had this on, I've worked on it a bit more. It's far from being a full, complete song by any means, but I feel like I've accomplished the point of the video. There's just a couple other things I want to do real quick to this. I've created this other section here, and I'll show that to you real quick here.
All right, all right. All right, all right. Oops.
So the one thing I want to do is on the voices here, I want to pitch bend them a bit and make it a bit goofier. So let's try this out. We'll do it on the next rotation. Did you hear that? Do it again.
Oops. Oops.
From there, just kind of loops. That's what I got so far. There's probably a cleaner transition or something I could do to tighten that up, but for the purpose of the video, I feel like we have made a beat from arcade machine sounds for sure. So let's go through this from the top, show you what I got so far, and I think we did it.
Oops. Oops.
And that's pretty much it. So yeah, we did it. Made a beat using all arcade sounds, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. I think I'm definitely gonna do something more with this in the future when I have, some time to sit down and really get into it, maybe write some lyrics to it. I think we have something cool. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you maybe learned something. If not, I hope you just found it entertaining. My name is Sikes. I play in a couple bands. I have a podcast. I have a website. I have links right here. Check it out. Okay, bye.